right, welcome back, everyone, to the...
All right, welcome back, everyone. As I go to the YouTube and hear myself say welcome back. But anyway, welcome back to the Monday night YouTube Live. Plus, now we're actually on Facebook, Periscope / Twitter, and Twitch for all you young kids out there. I won't be playing any Age of Empires. I think that might be the last. That kind of dates me. I think that might be the last video game I played was, Halo. Or no. Yeah, Halo. I might have played Halo. But anyway, Half-Life. Half-Life was the last game I played. So anyway, all right, welcome back, everyone. As usual, we got a lot to go over tonight. I mean, wow. I don't know. Something I bring up all the time is how busy it is right now. And, I talk about this a lot on these webinars, so I'll try not to beat it to death. But, geez, I got started actively day trading 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. And, I mean, it was busy back then. 2009 with the financial meltdown, markets were volatile. And but nothing like today, and we went into those dark days, as I call them, basically like 2012 to 2015. There's always opportunity, there's always trades, there's always runners to buy, there's always runners to short, there's always swing trades to buy, etc. But man, just kind of mid 2016. I'll always remember the very first Stocks to Trade Pro webinar I ever did was, I believe, July 20th, but check me on that. But anyway, roughly July of 2016, TCCO, the very first Stocks to Trade Pro webinar I ever did, we had 1,000% runner, and it was wild because that whole webinar I was talking, I'm like, man, it's a different world out there. It's not like it was in 2014, 2013, 2012, etc. And ever since then, it's like, the best kind of analogy I can give for the way the markets have gone since kind of that slow period of 2012, 2013 in there to now, it's like, I'm assuming many of you are familiar with the hockey stick of growth, okay? It might be a Jim Collins, maybe it was Jim Collins, but if not, read Jim Collins' business books. They're all great, good to great. He's got a Destined to Fail. He's got a bunch of amazing business books. But, you talk about that. The idea behind the hockey stick of growth is, you got a hockey stick and you're slowly grinding, and then you go vertical. And that's what happened in 2016. And every year since then, it has gotten busier and wilder. And, I mean, today, the biggest challenge today was just to try and figure out what to focus on. Because, I mean, I think, 15 stocks on watch, by like 8 a.m. I mean, that's what was nuts. So that being said, I talk about Pro a lot. Definitely check out stockstotrade.com/pro. I did 3 webinars today in Pro. We broke down some swing trades. This is something that I love to do on these nightly strategy sessions. Talked about NVAX and BCRX were, great movers. They checked every box. So, I mean, if you want watches for swing trades tomorrow, definitely keep an eye on BCRX and NVAX. And again, if you enjoy these webinars, if you want to see more, check out stockstotrade.com/pro. All right, let's get to work. As always, the agenda is to go over the weekly watch list and plan for our goals going forward. Another link for you is to go to stockstotrade.com/watchlist. I know I always say that really fast. stockstotrade.com/watchlist/ and watch kind of always melt together. But, it's a free web or free email every Sunday. It goes out at 3 p.m. Eastern, and these are kind of the top swing trade watches for the week. And, man, I tell you, I know I brag, but man, consistently, and I bet a lot of you have been on that list for a while, and you'll agree, nailed some calls on that list. So anyway, to get started, number one was WORK, work, slack, okay? I'm sure you can probably see down in my title bar, I'm running Slack. I use Slack every day. I'm literally chatting with the team right now during this webinar on Slack. It's amazing technology. I think, I've talked about this with the virus stuff, with the stay-at-home sector. I don't think we're ever going back. And, I'm not here to talk politics. I'm not here to talk policy. I'm not, I'm no epidemiologist. I'm no virologist. But I think that one of the biggest long-term impacts we're going to see, and remember, I'm talking as a trader and as a businessman. I've owned several business. I started out a startup when I was 24 years old. Okay, I've been a lifelong entrepreneur. From a business standpoint, from a trading standpoint, I think the biggest change we're going to see from this virus pandemic is just I don't think knowledge workers. Okay, if you're a programmer, if you're a marketer, if you're in insurance, if you're a consultant, if you're traditional knowledge workers, I think that the biggest change we're going to see is a significant majority of these are not going back to work. Not going back to the office. Sorry, not going back to the office, which is oddly enough, The Office, the TV series. Again, I talk about the team at Stocks to Trade. I've never watched more than like snippets of The Office, but and they keep bugging me to watch it. And I'm like, there's too many stocks. I don't have time. We got too many trades, too many stocks. But obviously they made the movie Office Space. They made the series The Office because people hate going to the office. And anyway, not to get too macro, I think one of the biggest changes we're going to see is just knowledge workers aren't going back. They're going to use Slack. They're going to use Zoom. They're going to use streaming platforms. The technology is there. It's just so different. When I started my business, the technology wasn't ready in the early 90s. Everyone said, oh, okay, you can work from home, but we didn't have Zoom. We didn't have, this webcam I'm broadcasting from is in 4K. I'm connected to 4 social media platforms simultaneously right now from the middle of nowhere in Michigan. The bandwidth is there. The technology is there. The tools are there. That being said, work was a great breakout out of that kind of what I would call probably a quadruple top. Look at that. A lot of you ask questions about support and resistance. Whoa! You want to talk about a break of resistance? Look at that. Look at where my cursor is hovering. $30 was a concrete brick wall for 4 months. 4 months. And that broke on Thursday, continued on Friday, continued on today. Now, I want to be clear. Work is up, 0.2%. I'm not spiking the football on this one, okay? I'm not bragging about work being up 9 cents on the day, but it held its gains, it closed green, it held the breakout level. This is 100% a week open red to green every single day. Okay, every day this is a week open red to green. Any day this stock opens red and breaks back green is a potential entry. Next one is Peloton, and not much of a day today, but much like Slack, it closed green barely. It's still at or around a 52-week high, and I believe this idea as a stay-at-home play. Love my Peloton, by the way. On that note, go to stockstotrade.com/blog. Some of you guys are asking about the halvening with Bitcoin. I just published an article a day or two ago on the blog about the halvening with Bitcoin. And I think that's something, it's funny, I forget to bring this up a lot, but the blog, the Stocks to Trade blog, is a huge resource, man. We talk about potential trades, we talk about watch lists, we talk about more macro. Actually, today we posted another article that I was pretty proud of 15 ways to kind of get better during the coronavirus, and 15 ways to improve your trading. That got published today. Couple days ago, I published an interview with Roland Wolf. Love Roland. Man, one of the humblest guys out there, one of the best traders out there. We post the podcast there, and, a bunch of great stuff. And so anyway, go to the blog, check it out. I think, I know in this world of like nonstop tweets, I think people kind of shy away from the longer form reading stuff sometimes, but definitely go to the blog and check it out. And you can find, you can find my glowing review of my Peloton now. I do want to be clear. I mainly bought the Peloton because of the outrage culture. The outrage culture when they had that Christmas commercial and that lady, everyone thought like that mean husband like made his wife ride the Peloton for a year. But anyway, that aside, not exactly a raging stock, but another red to green all week. BCRX. It's on. BCRX. Let me read you the notes from the watch list. And this is from this weekend. Okay. This is not from tonight. This is not from 5 minutes ago. This is from yesterday. Go to the watch list. It's free. Okay? StocksTrade.com/watchlist. One of the newer coronavirus plays into the end of the week. While the virus plays have been amazing day trades, many of the lower priced names have been way too volatile to ever consider for an overnight hold. BCRX is a very clean breakout chart with clear risk to reward on that breakout area of 450. Look at that 470 green to red area. You buy that $5 break, you risk 450. You're sitting here up $6 a share. And it pinned the high of the day. 8 p.m. close on this thing was at, 593. But 10 minutes earlier, this thing pinned the high of the day at 605, which is also a breakout level. And this thing has a huge gap to fill. One of the reasons I love BCRX is this gap to fill all the way back up to low or mid sevens. Love that area. I mean, this could definitely push back to that 7 area. And so I did a sheet in Stocks to Trade Pro tonight. This thing checks every box for tomorrow. Okay? I know a lot of you are always like, oh, I missed it. I got FOMO. What do I do? I know you probably can't read my chicken scratch handwriting. This checked every box as a potential swing trade. Tonight, I'm reading you the watch list from yesterday. Still, every box checked. Still a great entry. I think if you can get a dip If you can catch a dip to that 550 area, and then you, again, risk off of 5, I mean, this thing hits 7. It's all blue sky from there. So, Boozy. No trade yet. Okay. Now, I talk about this every week. It's Monday. Okay, this is a weekly watch list. These are stocks to watch all week long. What I really, really, really want you to keep an eye on with Vuzi is they did the offering today. Okay, they in the is this like the second time I paid homage to Jim Cramer? Did I mention Jim Cramer earlier? I don't know. I've done too many webinars. I think that might have been earlier in Stocks to Trade Pro, but so Vuzi comes in and rings the register, does the offering. This was stocks up from $1.50 to $3. They cash out, they do the offering, sell a bunch of shares. They got, $11 million. Now, most newbie traders would call this a short because they did the offering. The stock's a $80 million market cap company, and they just raised $11 million in cash at like $2.20 a share. That is not a toxic financing. Okay, so if you're following somebody on Twitter or somebody on Reddit or wherever, and they're like, "Oh, offering on Vuzi," they sold those shares at $2.20, I believe. Double check me on that, but not at a crazy discount. And they have interesting technology. I rant about the fact that none of these virus plays are going to cure the virus. None of them are going to treat the virus. No! I'll tell you what, write this down. You want something to take away from this? No penny stock biotech will accomplish anything. None of them. Okay? And actually, on that note, Thursday night, Tim Sykes and I, I'm guessing many of you are familiar with Tim Sykes, old buddy of mine. I actually started learning trading from Tim but roughly 15 years ago. And we're doing a free webinar Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, talking about this type stuff, talking about these short squeezes, these setups. So you can go to stockstrade.com/free-webinar, or the link is in chat. It's free, okay? And again, Tim and I have a unique relationship. I guarantee you this. I will guarantee you two things. It will be educational and it will be entertaining. And I think that's the best way to learn. I mean, I think about, high school, college. When I learned the most were the instructors that enjoyed teaching. So anyway, hit that stockstrade.com/free-webinar. It's in chat. And I will promise you two things. It will be educational and it will be entertaining. So check that out. So anyway, Vuzi, what I like about this is they have a real technology with this HoloLens, but they have a smart glass where it can like detect if you have a fever or not. And I think that's going to be where a lot of these penny stock plays can really break through. Because again, none of them are going to cure it. None of them are going to treat it. Not a single one. So, last one, RVP, man. Talked about this one as a gapper on Friday. And, the volume, I have to admit, I was never in love with the volume. But, yeah, we talked about this one in Stocks Trade Pro on Friday as a potential gapper candidate. RVP might be the prettiest 2-month chart in the entire stock market. I mean, this thing just it does these cup and handles. We're in the middle of a bull flag right now. I mean, my gosh, the last if you want a quote unquote textbook example of a bull flag, RVP is it. And this thing opens up at it bounced off the green to red line at 526, perks up into our favorite time of the day, 9:45 a.m. So say you buy at 550, I mean, it rips to 6, and then it just kind of slowly fades back. So, I mean, very good risk to reward there, especially if you gapped it on Friday. I mean, this thing just trended higher. And yes, it did kind of close weak, but look at that bull flag. Still stayed green on the day. Still stayed at 52. I mean, still a new 52-week high. Love this thing over under 550 tomorrow. So, all right, let's get to so that's the recap of the watch list. As always, remember, I'm gonna hit some Q&A. Okay, so I'll wrap up with some Q&A. But new podcast tomorrow, steadytrade.com. We got a bunch of amazing guests coming up. So we with the podcast, we record in advance. So, I know I'm supposed to do the whole like teaser thing where I'm not going to tell you who, but I've got some top secret guests on the podcast. But seriously, definitely go to Steady Trade, subscribe, follow us on social media. Seriously, some amazing guests coming up. Big name politicians, big name traders. Podcast is really growing. Some exciting stuff. So definitely, and it's free. Okay, I think if you're on the treadmill, if you're commuting, the podcast is a great way to pass the time. And we just hit 150 episodes. So let's hit some Q&A. And again, thank you to the team. I've got the team helping me out plucking Q&A from all the social networks because we're live on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. So, SWC Enjoy Rider says, you think we could see back-to-work plays as economic restrictions ease? Yes. Yes. I am very bullish manufacturing, very bullish construction, very bullish restaurants. So SWMC, if you're looking, I'm guessing you're more of a swing trader, longer term trader. This is what I would do. Look at the sectors and the businesses that got most punished by the shutdown. Okay, restaurants, it comes to mind. Travel, Marriott. I'm actually, I'm a huge Marriott fanboy. Okay, I do a lot of business travel. Well, I should say I used to do a lot of business travel before the shutdown, but I almost exclusively stay in Marriotts. You got a stock that is a few percentage points off 52-week lows. Who after they had to close practically every one of their hotels. I mean, who's going to bounce back harder in Q2 when everything opens back up? And I'm just throwing this out there as an example. Again, this is a longer term idea. But if you've got a multi-month, multi-year time frame and you're looking to dip by back to work plays, I think you'll look back in a year and be like, oh, how stupid was I not to buy Marriott? I mean, strongest company in the world. They have the best properties, best business travel, tons of resorts. So SWMC, I would look for the sectors that got hurt most by the shutdown as bounces. I just started trading recently and noticed a lot of the dip and rip setups have been failing the past couple days. Is this a common thing to have periods of slowness? Yes. Yes, Netine. Now Netine, I would say this. You have to be selective on the dip and rips, okay? Now, number one, no setup is 100. It works 100% of the time. I think a lot of newbie traders will hear about. I talk about the dip and rip a lot. I talk about the VWAP hold, the high day break a lot. I talk about the high volume break of previous day's highs. I've got a bunch of these patterns I talk about, or the ABCD pattern. I mean, there's a million of the supernova pattern. There's a million of these out there. I think one thing you need to realize is they don't work. No pattern works 100% of the time. I think that the patterns I talk about pretty much every webinar work consistently over time. Now, I will say this week, well, not this week, end of last week and into this week, we did have a few dip and rip fails, but I think if you were focused on the virus sector, if you were focused on ridiculous volume, I think you would find that even if they didn't work, you had plenty of time to get out and could have easily moved on. How to filter and find a good PR. Okay. Good question. So the question is, how do you run a scan? How do you filter for a good PR? Well, I wish I had a better answer for you. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be able to read and you got to be able to interpret the news to the best of your ability, okay? And what we're looking to do is the shortest answer. And number one, I would say this, okay? Get in Stocks to Trade Pro, okay? Go to stockstotrade.com/pro. I do a webinar every single morning live, okay? I'm in chat every single morning by 7 a.m. Last couple weeks, I've been in chat by 6 a.m., okay? Every single trading day, and we are breaking down these PRs, okay? So I think that's the best way because we do it live. We break it down. We look for these terms. We look for the red flags. We look for concrete stuff to actually trade. But the biggest thing I would say to summarize to keep things succinct is, just look for real numbers. Avoid vague language. Avoid up to, unnamed partners, 2-year timelines, okay? Look for concrete numbers, named partners, just, and I know it takes time, but the longer you read PRs, the better your BS indicator will get. So when you say red to green, is it on the day or the day before? Markovic, good question. Red to green, green to red is always, always, always based on the 4 p.m. previous day's close. Okay? Good question. I get asked it a lot, but the red to green line, the green to red line is always the previous day's 4 p.m. close. What do you think about happening with Microsoft and MVIS? And I'm probably going to finish on this. I hated on MVIS all last week. All right? And I begged you guys, if you were here last Monday night, I'm like, this is rumor stuff. Don't trade rumors. Avoid it. Okay? And number one, if you weren't here last Monday night, why not? Why not? It's free. Every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch. I'm here. I've been up since 4:30 a.m. It's 8:30 p.m. I'm here every Monday night. So if you weren't here, I don't know why you weren't, but if you were here, I begged you to avoid MVIS. avoid these rumor plays. Now, you might be asking because of this article at the Florida Independent. Like 5 people sent me this today. You want to know what I think of Florida? I don't know. Listen, I don't know if you work at Florida Independent, if you have a friend at Florida Independent. I'm not picking on anybody, but why is Florida Independent getting the scoop on this Microsoft and Envis deal? It's going nowhere. Envis is doomed, okay? I don't care what you read on Twitter. I don't care what you read on Reddit. I don't care what you read on StockTwits. This thing is doomed. So, all right. Tons of questions tonight. I got a busy day tomorrow. Number 1, every single Monday night we go over the watch list. Go to stockstotrade.com/watchlist. Thursday night, free webinar, 8 p.m. Eastern with Tim Sykes. I know I already said it, but hey, we are going to talk stocks. We're going to talk strategies. We're going to talk about things to focus on right now. But I will I will give you my lead pipe lock guarantee. It will be a fun webinar. So check that out. Free-webinar, stockstrade.com/free-webinar. New podcast drops tomorrow. Check out the blog. I mean, man, there's just, we're putting out so much great stuff out there. And the market is just so wild. I will close as I began. Sorry. I screwed up my tense. There's never been a greater time to learn to trade. I'm so jealous of you guys. And I'm looking at you. I'm looking into the webcam. It is the greatest time in history to be short-term trading. And I'm telling you, if you're stuck at home, if you're not sure if you're going back to work, or maybe your spouse doesn't know if they're going back to work, if you're scared, I get it. It's a scary time out there, but man, this technology, YouTube, live streams, free webinars on Thursday night, podcasts, blog articles, all of this stuff. At the end of the day, there's never, in my opinion, there's never been a better time to be the master of your own destiny. And you got 2 things to do right now. You can worry, you can hide, you can say woe is me, or you can, my coffee's actually over there. Or you can pound 6 pockets of black coffee a day, pop some Alpha Brain, get up, deadlift, and read some books and watch some webinars and be determined to get better, smarter, faster, and stronger every single day. I've given these analogies a million times. Isaac Newton made major breakthroughs under quarantine. Shakespeare, I don't know if this is substantiated or not, but Shakespeare wrote King Lear under quarantine. Or you can lay in bed all day and watch The Office, which I know I'm supposed to. Still, I haven't gotten to it. But take advantage of this time. And don't do this woe is me stuff. Come out of this thing a better version of yourself. And look at the markets, man. Never been a better time. Have a great night, my friends. Would love to see you Thursday night. Oh, Instagram Live. I'm still doing Instagram Live every single day at 8:30 Eastern. So go to Instagram.com/stocks to trade every single morning, 8:30 Eastern, until I die, which I might, as wild as these markets are. I might die at any point. If I tip over on one of these webinars, please call 911 for me. Call my wife. My office is a detached building from the main house, but if I tip over because there's 75,000 stocks on the watch list, please call my wife for me. All right, have a great night, everyone. Check out all those links. Love all the Q&A. Love all the comments. Love doing these things every single Monday night. And we will see you at the podcast Thursday night on the watch list, on the blog, and hopefully in Stocks Trade Pro. Have a great night, everyone. See you next time.